Hi, good morning, guys. Well, this is my second take. I'm not surprised. The enemy certainly is working overtime, but I won't be discouraged. I just wanted to follow up with you guys about the video I did called The Snare and the Great Escape. So, a day after it happened, after I made the video, I was working and it was towards the end of my day, and we received a letter from our CEO where we work, and I work from home right now, that we were going to start back at work starting the day after Labor Day in September. But there was a catch. The catch is that we would be separated by who had been lead and who hadn't, and that we would sit in separate places, that we would go to different bathrooms, that we would take separate lunches based on that status. My heart sank, my heart raced, and I was incredibly upset by that. And so I cried out to the Lord, and I sent a letter back asking about, I sent a letter to my management asking about whether or not we could continue to work from home, if I could make that a special request. And apparently a bunch of us have, and so they are considering our requests, are their words. So please pray. And I know a lot of you are in this situation where you are forced to make a decision, or it's coming up soon. Please pray that that the Lord will provide for us no matter what. I know He will, but please pray that our anxiety would not get worked up, that we would cast our cares upon Jesus and keep our eyes focused on Him, because we trust in Him and He cares for us, and that this thing will be sorted out, and that we'll be able to continue to work from home. We've done very well. Most of us have done very, very well in the last 16 months doing so. So, but anyway, I called my twin sister, my prayer warrior sister, after praying about it, and she said, I said to her, it seems like whenever the enemy, the Lord, shows you something, He shows you something, and you have what I would call an aha moment, or a mountaintop experience, where you have a good visual of what's around you because He's opened your eyes to a scripture, or He's opened your eyes to a certain situation. The enemy comes right behind Him to try to knock your legs out from under you, to steal your joy, to steal your peace, and to cause anxiety, because he's a bully and he likes to intimidate. And, he does it every time. His playbook is pretty basic. He sticks to the playbook because it works. And my sister said, yeah, but have you also thought of it this way? That the Lord is faithful and good, and that He gave you a heads up. He gave you that word knowing the enemy was going to try to attack you the next day, and that He prepared you for that message. And He prepared you because He's faithful and He loves you, and He got to you first. The enemy was a day late. And I thought, wow, that is a wonderful way to look at it. And I agree with her. I do. I think that's amazing that the Lord cares about us the way that He does. I normally don't do videos in the morning, but this was something I woke up thinking about. I have to do a follow-up video. I've been thinking about it all week. And I wanted to share that with you guys so that you can keep me lifted up in prayer, and lift others around you up in prayer that are in a similar situation. They are finding themselves entrapped, or about to be entrapped. And the enemy is pushing hard to make them feel that they're entrapped. But they must be reminded that if they're a child of God, that the Lord will deliver them from it. He will make a way of escape. I truly believe that, because the Word says that. And so, and if you haven't had a chance to watch my last video, this has everything to do with that video. I wanted to touch bases with you on a word study I did this morning that I found very interesting. And if the lighting changes, I'm sorry. But I looked up the words trap and snare, or snares, in the Bible, and I found at least 124 mentions of this word or references to this word in the scripture. So then I turned around and I looked up deliverance, deliverer, or deliver, and I found at least 887 instances of the word deliverer. Now I did the math, and apparently there are over seven times more instances of or references to the word deliverance or deliverer than to trap or snare. I found that number interesting. 7 times more. Why am I not surprised? The Lord likes to speak through letters and numbers. He wrote the word. He inspired man to write it. He uses words and he connects them to numbers sometimes. And I try not to get wrapped up in numbers, but the Lord is a God of order and he created these things. And I just want to say that it's awesome that he more than covers entrapment and snares and all that with deliverance 7 times over. Be encouraged by that. Be encouraged by that. So, just a fun word study. I like to do word studies sometimes. There is one other scripture I want to leave with you. I've been reading Psalm 18, and I believe there are a lot of verses in reference there. If you ask the Lord to give you insight into Psalm 18, that could reference the times we live in now and our soon coming deliverance. I know it was written about David and his escape from his enemies, but a lot of times in the Bible there are parallel references. But that's not the scripture I'm going to read to you this morning. It is also in Psalm. I'm reading the English Standard Version, so I apologize for all you King James lovers out there. But it says, "In peace I will both lie down and sleep. For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." This scripture, just this one verse, 19 words I believe, in that is so succinct but also so rich in context. And I want to kind of take it apart just a little bit. It says, "In peace I will both lie down and sleep." You know, the only way you can physically lie down and sleep is when your mind is at rest. I want to say that when you lie down, it's almost a physical act of faith in this instance, that someone else is awake, that someone else is taking care of things and is not lying down. You hear the expression lying down on the job. That means they're not doing it. Well, the Lord is not lying down on the job. The Lord is sitting. He is not pacing. As in this scripture, you're not pacing. He's not pacing. You're lying down, believing that He is taking care of it. Well, the Lord is sitting on His throne because the work is finished. It will play out now. But He is not pacing. He knows the end from the beginning. He wrote the book. So when we understand that, we can physically lie down as an act of faith that He is taking care of these things. And then it says, "and sleep." Your mind, you can lie down, shut your eyes, and your mind will begin to race when your mind is heavily fixed on events around you. But in this scripture, when you are sleeping a sleep of peace. Because once again, you are able to sleep when someone else is watching over you. So it says, "For you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety." Understand that in this scripture, the psalmist understands that his faith is in the Lord alone. His faith is not in money. His faith is not in prep, all the things that we prep for, all the disasters. We're not called to foolishness. We are called to wisdom, but our faith in those things is not a faith that is solid, because those things can be taken from us. Our faith is not in people who may get us out of hot spots, influential connections if we have any. Our faith is not in people or treasures that we have, earthly treasures here. But our faith is in Him alone. Okay? And then it says, you, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. When you dwell somewhere, you live there. I dwell in my home. This is where I come home. This is where I always return. So I want you to picture dwelling. And what's the dwelling described as? Safe. So you are constantly living in safety. You are living in a safe place. The psalmist often refers to running to safety, and he describes safe places such as strong towers, fortresses, and he describes the Lord in this context. But this is a constant state of being. This is where you live. You live in the state of knowing that you are safe. So I just wanted to leave you with that because it's such a beautiful picture of where we are to be in our minds. We're to be at peace and able to rest with the constant blessed assurance that He is taking care of us. He is coming. And last but not least, we dwell in safety because He is our safety. So I want to leave you with that. I love you guys, and I thank you that you continue to leave comments, and you pray for me, and I am thankful to get to know you and pray for you. You keep doing that. I hope you guys have a great weekend, a blessed weekend, and we will be seeing Him in the clouds. And until then, let's run that harvest field. Let's work the harvest field. And there's my daughter. You guys have a good morning.